Hello there and welcome back to another video where we can celebrate 3-0 to Liverpool against Arsenal. And it was a game, if I'm being totally honest with you, that didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go. I thought Arsenal were going to present much more challenges to us than they did. Defensively they did, in terms of their defence against our attack for the first half at least. But I thought that they were going to pose much more threats in terms of attack. I didn't realise certain players that they were missing or weren't playing. We'll go through all of that in a couple of minutes or so anyway, but I genuinely thought that they were going to offer up much more of a threat in terms of their attack, especially when I saw the lineup and it had Aubameyang and Lacazette in there and it had Pepe in there as well. We'll come and cover through all of that as well. But I was very impressed with Liverpool on all fronts in terms of goalkeeping, defence, midfield, and also attack. I was really impressed with how we went out there and conducted ourselves in that game, and I felt that we did what we needed to do. I think one thing that I was thinking of last night, just after the game or as the game was coming into the closing stages, was Liverpool. Our game plan was always going to be something towards controlling the game, probing and attacking, trying to create attacking moves, get people into different positions, and try and just try and threaten the spaces that Arsenal perhaps would leave. I assumed that Arsenal's game plan would be to hit us on the counter attack, maybe soak up a bit of pressure, soak up, try and defend as best as possible, and then hit us on the break with someone like an Aubameyang, someone like a Pepe. Maybe less so Lacazette because he doesn't necessarily have the raw pace that those two guys do. But that's what I thought that their game plan would be. I leave watching that game, us having executed our game plan really, really well, very, very effectively, and then I look at Arsenal's game plan and I don't know what they were trying to do. I really don't know what they were trying to do, and I assume that Arsenal fans themselves don't actually really know what was the game plan coming up against Liverpool. What was the game plan for Arsenal going into this game? Because whatever it was, it didn't work. From goalkeeping to defence to midfield. It was basically the exact opposite, where I'm happy and ecstatic that my team were able to nullify Arsenal, nullify their threats, nullify any sort of threat in any sort of way, and then execute our game plan. It was the complete opposite for Arsenal, and I'm just not entirely sure what their game plan was. But hey, it benefited us. Let's get into some SofaScore action, and then we're going to look at some things on Twitter as well, which have really interested me. That I've only just found it in the last couple of days, but even so, the first half didn't really have a lot going on. Let's be honest. The first half was a case of we were the better team, couldn't find the breakthrough, and that's where I do commend Arsenal in some ways in the first half, that they were able to sort of shut us down in terms of they were making themselves very difficult to break down. They were getting themselves behind the ball, allowing us to have the ball, and it almost sort of looked like it was going to be one of those games where we were going to be really frustrated, could possibly find it really difficult to score a goal, to get the opportunities in front of goal. We were going to have to work really, really hard, and we were working really, really hard. We have majority possession, which it has been a factor of our game where we get the majority of possession, but we don't always do something with it. But we were doing things with it. Maybe more so in the second half, definitely more so in the second half. But in the first half, it just looked like we were struggling just a little bit. And we were just hoping that that wasn't going to be the case for the whole 90 minutes. Now, thankfully, it wasn't the whole thing for the whole 90 minutes. But still, you just get that little bit of, because of how we've been playing, our form that has been so down since Christmas basically, and it's starting to get itself back up. We're just hoping that the international break doesn't ruin our momentum that we had from picking up, going into the next round of the Champions League, from beating Wolves as well, which was a difficult game, a really difficult game. We wanted to build on that against Arsenal, an Arsenal team that I felt was going to be really, really difficult, and I really was sort of wondering what Odegaard was going to do as well, and I just don't think that he, along with the attacking players, they just weren't getting themselves enough opportunities. They weren't taking risks. They weren't willing to really take a great deal of many risks. Losing Kieran Tierney to an injury is really unfortunate for Arsenal because he is one of their better players, one of their better outlets, and also one of their better defenders. as well. So losing him to an injury is really, really unfortunate for them, but it shouldn't have changed a great deal of things. In fact, I do remember when Cedric came on, Cedric having a shot, like a rare shot from Arsenal as well, and it was hit straight at Alisson. Alisson sporting one of the most beautiful moustaches since Ron Swanson. Absolutely loved it, massive fan of it, and I hope he keeps it as well. But yeah, I just don't think that there just wasn't enough from Arsenal. They were just far too willing to sit back, not take a risk, not try and probe us. We were doing all the probing. They were not. So we get into the second half, right? Milner's had a shot. There was a good chance that he had, which I think Trent had cut it back to Milner, and Milner had a shot. I think he had like 2 shots in this game as well. And credit to Milner, he played really well in this game, in my opinion. But just the shot was off target, and you're just thinking, oh, hopefully this isn't going to be the theme of today and all that sort of business. We get into the second half, and, you know, I don't think Robertson did anything wrong to get substituted, but maybe this was sort of a plan of, not necessarily down to what was going on in the game, but maybe there was a plan ahead of the Champions League game against Real Madrid. Certain players were going to get a certain amount of minutes, if you know what I mean. And maybe that is something that was agreed before this as well. So Robertson got substituted off for Diogo Jota. And so immediately as soon as that happened, I was a bit like, oh, okay. Then you sort of noticed a switch that happened for Liverpool. On the screen here, you can see that we were lining up in a 4-3-3 to start with. Traditional Liverpool starting in the 4-3-3. We ended up going to a 4-2-3-1. So what happened, basically, is James Milner came down to left back. Fabinho, Thiago became the 2 6s. And then you saw Diogo Jota go up front into this area. Firmino dropped in just behind. Salah still on the right, Mane on the left-hand side. And you actually saw a switch happen. It was a good tactical switch that happened against Arsenal. And it really helped us open them up literally within minutes. Trent Alexander-Arnold, who, whether he plays for England or not, I don't care because I'm not the biggest England fan of all time, apart from maybe when a tournament happens. I'm more bothered about what he does with Liverpool, and what he did here was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic assist. I can't remember who it was that said it, but it might have been on commentary, it might have been in the pundits area or something like that, whatever it might have been, that people don't see deliveries into the box like that, apart from Trent Alexander-Arnold and David Beckham. David Beckham might be a Man United legend, but the way that he could bend a ball was absolutely ridiculous. That cross from Trent Alexander-Arnold was absolutely magnificent. It was fantastic. But also, this also gives us an opportunity to look at something here, which can hopefully shed a little bit more. You know, it gives us a. This is from the. I'll show you the Twitter account as well. So it comes from a Twitter account called The Tactical Times. Really, really good Twitter account. And it's one that I'm a big fan of right now. Now, hopefully, if I've got the right one, and you should be able to see everything here. You certainly can. Fandabidozi. What you're seeing here is basically the build-up for Trent's goal. Trent out here, obviously he's about to whip that ball in. Jota coming into these spaces here, right? He's got the options of 2 spaces that he could run into. So obviously he's going to choose, you know, it's kind of like a pick 'em game, isn't it? He can choose where he goes. I don't think Diogo Jota's that tall. I'm not saying he's really short. He's not like, you know, he's not like Lorenzo Insigne. He's not really short or anything like that either. But these centre backs are both 6 foot and 6'1" between them as well. So obviously as it goes on, you see that he decides this defender has committed to this area here. Trent's got that ball coming in, so whichever way it goes, Jota's going to be a threat, but he decides to go the right way in this bit here. This defender's a little bit asleep. Someone over here, see, this is the only problem is that I can't actually tell who it is in these areas because of the quality of the picture. But this person here has been drawn right over here. So this central space and central area has been left clear. No one else seems to be dropping in. I think that's El Neni as well. Just seems to be standing on the edge of the box. But if we look at where Jota's starting position is, his starting position's on the edge of the box. No one else has really moved from here. El Neni, and this might be Thomas Partey, but I'm not entirely sure, haven't really moved even from the second image, maybe a little bit further in. Okay, so we get to the third bit here. This defender here, because I don't know which one's who between the two, is now decided that he needs to start closing in. Bearing in mind that the ball is here. I'm pretty sure this is the ball here. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. It's already too late. It's already too late for this defender coming in. No matter really, you've got to be really, really lucky or really committed. And if you're really committed, you run the risk of conceding a penalty if you're a little bit too rough on the player that's coming in for Liverpool. Then obviously, as we see, Jota just wants it more. He wants it more. This defender here has overcommitted to where he was before, so obviously he'd made this run over here, but he's trying to track back. You can see his body language is moving that way back to try and get the recovery header, but the ball's moving at too much speed, it's got too much whip on it, and Jota's already made it into the perfect position. This other defender here, who is currently behind Jota, just doesn't make his decision quick enough to move from there to where he is over here. It's just not quick enough. Now, Leno does get a hand to that header, but it is a good, it's not the most powerful header of all time, but it's got enough on it to take it into the back of the net off Leno's hand, and it just wasn't really good enough from that perspective. Now, I don't have the one for Salah's goal, but we can look at this, like the whole movement for Salah's goal, but we can certainly look at this in general. Right, we've got the two defenders here. I'm pretty sure this could be Chambers and Rob Holding, and then you've got God, what's his name? Gabriel here. All I'm seeing right now, if this tackle doesn't work, which it didn't, if this tackle doesn't work, then Thomas Partey needs to be absolutely making a sprint down here. Not only just to cover the fact that Roberto Firmino is right there as well, or even the fact that Mane could be coming up into this area here, but also the fact that Salah, who gets the ball from Gabriel into this space, has this entire world of space to work in. Now these guys do end up running back in. They do run back in quite a good little bit, and Salah works really, really well, getting the ball, making a move up to the goalkeeper, and nutmegging Leno for the goal. But these guys should already be further into the box. These guys should be alert to the danger that's happening, and they're not. The same for Thomas Partey. As good as he might have been for Atletico Madrid, he's just not alert enough. Really, really not alert enough. And the exact same thing can pretty much be said for the third goal. The third goal by Jota was absolutely sublime. Magnificent. But mistakes again. And it was actually Gabriel booted the ball out, basically. Trent responded quicker, gets the ball, moves the ball into the box, I think maybe to Salah. Then the ball goes to Mane. And then Jota, who is running in, just absolutely wellies the ball right into the back of the net, and it ends up 3-0 to Liverpool. A performance that I'm really, really, really impressed with as well. I wanted to look as well, this is James Milner, his performance, and I wanted to look at this tweet as well from Tactical Times. He spent 57 minutes at left centre mid and 37 minutes at left back. 90% pass accuracy, 61 passes received, 10 recoveries, 74% of overall actions were successful. At 35 years old, Milner isn't just dependable, he's still really, really good. And he absolutely is. He's such a positive player. And at 35 years old, he's still able to contribute at such a high level in the Premier League. So impressed with him as well. Really, really impressed with him. The other player that I wanted to look at as well is Ozan Kabak. 89% pass accuracy, 4 out of 8 accurate long passes, 3 out of 3 aerial duels won, and Nat Phillips as well, 88% pass accuracy, 1 out of 3 long ones, 6 out of 7 aerial duels, 3 out of 5 ground duels, 3 out of 3 tackles, 2 interceptions, 5 clearances. This pairing of Ozan Kabak and Nat Phillips really impresses me, and it gives me a lot of confidence now moving into the rest and the latter stages of this season. We're missing our key, like Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez and all that lot, who, to be fair, I think Nat Phillips can even, and Kabak as well, can be competing for that other spot next to Van Dijk as well next season. But honestly, the options that we will have next season, and I still firmly stand by my own opinion, I feel Kabak should be made a permanent Liverpool player by the summer. I really, really do. I think he's going to be a quality player. Every time I see Kabak play, seems to get much more confident, seems to play with much more leadership about him as well, doesn't seem to be afraid of his role, of what he's supposed to do, of committing himself to tackles, he's getting better with his passing as well. That was one of the critiques from people that watch the Bundesliga or watch Schalke, is that his passing and his passing range wasn't always very good. Well, we're starting to see he's starting to get a bit more confidence with them, much more higher rate of pass accuracy as well. I can't be happier with how Kabak has been, and his rate of development in this Liverpool team. I think it can only go up and up and up, and I feel I would love, I'd be happy, really really happy to see Kabak become a permanent Liverpool player. But we'll see what happens in the summer. Nat Phillips, absolutely fantastic as well. Really led by example in that defensive area. Really really helped us out. But the man, Diogo Jota, scored 2 goals, made the impact and turned this game around. And deserving of a man of the match award himself as well, and most likely will get it from everybody. For me, this man, he's just, I'm not even going to read those stats out, you can read them yourselves, but what was wrote underneath, he's just fantastic. The big stringy monster of a man is unplayable on nights like tonight. You might as well pack it up and go home like Arsenal did. And that's not a dig at Arsenal, obviously I'm just reading what they've wrote here. But Fabinho is just magnificent. He's absolutely magnificent. I can't say it enough. He honestly is. Moving him back into midfield, like, he was great in defence, but he is just irreplaceable in midfield. I'm almost in awe of the man, of what he can do. It's more than what is just here. The passing accuracy, the dribbles and everything like that. It's how he keeps the ball as well, how he protects the ball, how he protects those around him as well, the people that are around him, the players that are around him. A very, very complete performance by him. And I'm just so impressed by the entire Liverpool team. Really, really 100% impressed by absolutely everyone. And I might sound like I'm waxing lyrical about this team. I don't care if that's what it sounds like, because I absolutely loved this performance. Probably more because I genuinely felt that Arsenal were going to threaten us more. Okay? I really did. I really thought I was going to see much more from Lacazette, from Aubameyang, I think even from Pepe. I do want to go back and have a look and see. So no, it wasn't on the bench. So Saka and Smith Rowe were doubtful and they didn't make the bench. Willian was doubtful, but he did make the bench. Maybe these guys are being rested for their Europa League game against Slavia Prague. Maybe. But Saka is such a dangerous player. Smith Rowe is someone that plays without fear. I'm really... Again, Martinelli looked so much more dangerous than Aubameyang. Like, this young lad looked way more dangerous than the club captain. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Maybe I'm not supposed to get it. But hey, I mean, I'm happy for Liverpool to take all 3 points. I really, really am. 3 points and a clean sheet as well. So happy. So happy for Alisson. So happy for everybody as well. And what this means for the table, Newcastle and Tottenham are playing right now, is we move into 6th position now, which I think that's pretty much where we were. But obviously that's because Tottenham are playing right now, and I think they must be winning against Newcastle, like 2-1 or something. So, yeah, we're 2 points away from the top 4, which is incredible. We've still got hard fixtures to go. We've still got tough fixtures to go. But it puts us in the fight. It puts us in the fight for the top 4. And that's all we wanted to be involved in, like, as this season comes to a close. If we can be in the conversation as much as possible, maybe even take that spot at some point if other teams lose. Like, I was genuinely surprised to see that Chelsea result yesterday. I couldn't believe it. If we can have a bit more of that from other teams that are above us or on the same points as us. We're on the same points as West Ham as well at the moment, but they've still got a game to play, so they could pick up points there as well. But no, honestly, I couldn't be happier for that Liverpool team. Really, really impressed. And we move on to Real Madrid on Tuesday. We'll get a video done for that on Monday as well. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do like it and subscribe. If you're new around here, please do have a wonderful rest of the Sunday. Happy Easter if you celebrate Easter. If not, please just have a wonderful day. And I will catch you in the next video. Tomorrow we'll be previewing Liverpool versus Real Madrid. Feel free to leave your comments in the comment section for now. But for now, I'm going to get out of here. Take care. I'll catch you later.